about to begin. about the bungee. The bungee is 2 towers. It's 100 feet tall. Looks like a big striker. Get a prize every time. It's elastically powered. First fairground ride, elastically powered.
When did you buy it?
It was bought
May. No, last October. When it come to instant.
Stirling.
Last October.
When was its first
September.
September, Stirling.
Stirling. Where have you been with it since?
I went from Stirling to Hull, and Hull to Island to Kirkcaldy, and it's been on the Taylor's Run this summer.
my fifth. I'm sorry to say this, but this is my 50th year. I would like to say a lot less, but mother and father came here 1952, 53. I was born in 53. My father first arrived here in 1952 with a single dive bomber, and the position he stood on is now where the flats are. That was his first place on the opposite side, and then I think he had about 2 years there, and then he moved up to this end, not far from where we are with the wheel now. So this is my 50th Kirkcaldy, and a lot of the years after the dive bomber, the first ride after the bomber that my brother and myself fetched was a lifting paratrooper, and then after lifting paratrooper was a Mont Blanc, then upright paratrooper, then we moved on to the Hurricane, then the Orbiter, and then from the Orbiter to the Tip Top. Tip Top, then we started into some of the more spectacular stuff, being the Terminator, Breakdance, Kamikaze, King Loop. And then we moved into the Bomber, and then last year we fetched the Eclipse, and then this year we fetched the Giant Wheel, which is probably one of the largest trailer mounted rides in Europe, which obviously this tractor unit we're sitting in is actually towing one of the trailers. I've just done one of the things I enjoy doing very much, which is fetching one of the trailers up the Esplanade of Kirkcaldy again. And maybe many people in my stage of life would enjoy a game of golf or maybe a nice new flashy car. But me driving this vehicle up the Kirkcaldy Links Market is probably one of the best things I could ever do. Well, what you do is, as we're sitting just now in one of the vehicles here, I mean there's 3 70-foot trailers. As we sit here just now, the boys are bolting the trailers together. You start by bolting the trailers, you set one trailer, and then you fetch the trailer alongside it. The special feet on the underside, hydraulic rams. The trailers draw themselves in together, and then you bolt the trailers together. Once you have the 3 trailers bolted together, then the main masts rise. Bolt the masts together, and then the arms comes up on the side. And as you'll see, it starts going like a wedding cake from the bottom, section by section, till eventually make the circle. Then you fit all the extras, the cars, the lighting, and all the bits that makes it look pretty. But when she's together, she's a very, very impressive piece of equipment. We took delivery of it in October last year. Freddie Davis, myself, and 2 more drivers went to Italy with the vehicles. We fetched it out of Italy right into Nottingham, which was its first fair. We've done a week at Nottingham, then it went to Hull for 10 days, and then after Hull, it done the 3-week stunt in the Dome in London. Came back into our yard at Bellsill, where we've done a lot of change to the racking, change to the vehicles and things, which we still have more to do to try and make it a little bit easier to move. I mean, it's not the most difficult thing, but everything can be improved upon. So some of the improvements are not just as we expected, as you can hear them hammering in the background, but we'll eventually get there. Well, if the weather stays like it is at the moment, they'll be talking about 2.5 days. But the only thing that would stop you from working would be high wind. That would be the only thing. Rain, not a problem. And the conditions today are absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
That was your father-in-law's dodging ball.
No, it was all Henry Evans in England.
See it there?
That was Logie then, 1952. You must have had it then.
No.
Don't have it then.
That's the same photograph. The bomber's there. The bomber was there in 52.
So what one's that?
That's after.
That's the older one.
Aye.
That's my grandfather's strata rocket.
Well, see the bomber? See there?
Oh, aye.
The bomber was on that position.
52.
That's a clearer photograph than the one.
Yes, it's the way it's been done.
High. I think it's probably still the largest, the tallest travelling ride. I mean, obviously apart from the big wheel of that in the UK. What else? It does 11.2 revolutions a minute in the centre. It's probably about 60, 65 miles per hour when you're sat in the car. We've had it 4 seasons now and it's still going from strength to strength.
6 feet.
66 feet. And what's the size you're putting this in?
This position's 96 feet.
So you're okay.
Oh, aye.
How long will it take you to put up?
Now, if I never went out last night, probably about 4 hours less than what's going to take me today.
Like the position of the bottoms, so soon we've got all this much time, we thought we'd change them over. The sun was in our eyes building up and down, couple of set together, and then it goes out another 21 foot before it goes up in the air. That was the problem down there, is Edwin couldn't build up till I put this together.
And then you swap you pull the end bits down, and the cowl goes on the end. So if you can picture it now, as that goes up, that inside tower has got to shove up the length of that, then another 4 metres on the top. So she's shoving up about another
FC Fabry, we've got a very, very good working relationship with them. So basically what happens is anything new that they're coming out, they will approach us and ask us if we want to invest in it, and we get the first one. This is what happened with the small bomber. It actually started off really with the bungee that we had before that, then it moved on to the small bomber. So when they told us that they could make a bigger bomber and with more capacity, we was very interested, but we wasn't actually first in line for it. There was a Spanish company, a Spanish family called Banyuls, and it just went down the line and their deal went pear-shaped. So Fabry come to us and says, well, instead of having the second one, do you want to have the first one? This was obviously well under construction, and then he says, yes, okay, we'll have a try at it. Now we flew back and forward to the factory about 5 or 6 times over the next couple of months, picking colours and different bits and pieces for it to go to the paint shop. And then at the end of the last week, me, 2 of the lads that worked for me, and a technician called Paul Geary went over and stayed there for just over a week and helped them finish the ride off. Obviously I had the technician there because there were certain pieces on the ride that I wasn't sure of and I wanted him to check, and because obviously in Italy and in Britain it can be different levels of legislation for different parts of the ride. You know what I mean? Some things it's legal for there, but some things it's not legal for over here. So I just wanted him to double check things and make sure that it was fine, and he was more than happy at the end. More than happy. So that's been that so far. She is just over 50 metres. I haven't actually hung a tape on it myself, so this is what the factory's telling me. She's like 52.5 metres. Well, this is another one I need to work out as well. I know that she does 11.2, 11 RPM, right in the centre. To try and bring that out to the end of the arm, you're talking about 70 miles per hour, roughly. I know for a fact, because I've had a G tester on it, she's pulling between 4.2 and 4.3 G at full speed. And they actually advise you not to run it at full speed over a certain length of time. I'm sure actually if you do try to run it too long, the machine will actually slow down itself. 16 passengers, 8 on either end, whereas the old bomber was only 8. Pulling the main centre off the bomber, the heaviest truck. My dad's just left for the arm, so hopefully by the time I get there, we'll have the first truck set for me, and we can start levelling off. About, I reckon 90 mile, about 2 hours, something like that there, depending on the traffic. I start building up marks. The machine's got to go in rotation. The bomber's first in, so that's why we're in a mad panic to get away with this load first of all. Once this gets in, then the next one can set up to it. And they've got to go in a rotation as such. We've got the bomber, Spider-Man, Clips, Wheel, Mad Mouse, and the gate to the event, also the balloon race.
Now placing the blocks, so we can put the blocks for what?
It's the blocks just to position the centre trailer so we know where we're positioning it. Put them down, Thomas!
So you put the 2 trailers next to each other, yeah?
3 trailers.
3 trailers.
You can edit that bit as well.
Tea in the Park this year, we're opened at 3 o'clock today, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and where you're standing just now, Sunset Strip, this opens at 3 o'clock today, and it closes at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then tomorrow it will open at 11 o'clock until 3 o'clock in the morning. Main Arena opens at 11 o'clock tomorrow till 12 o'clock at night, and the campsite on the side of us here starts at 3 o'clock today and closes at 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. All the fun fair stuff is all down to M&D's, every piece. So there's 19 rides on the complex just now. No, the truth of the matter is the demographics of the public using the place, it's teenagers upwards, and everybody's looking for the thrill ride. So that the more fierce, the more speed, the more thrilling, the more height, then that's the better for the ride. The log flume works because it's water, and a lot of these festival goers probably don't see many log flumes in their travels. The wheel's not a thrill ride, but again, she's 40 odd feet in the air. People go on the wheel really to have a look at the site, just to see the vastness of it. So them two works okay for us.
when you start bringing tractors in, the damage that it causes is unreal. You know, you start pulling mud guards off and tyres and different stuff like that. So when you bring the winch lorry in, it takes everything off the grass much easier, and it's much kinder to the stuff. And you can do it a lot gentler and take your time doing it. Just a lot easier, to be quite truthful. It's not cheaper, but I'll tell you that.
Well, the 8-wheel ARF, that lorry was built out of 3 lorries, as most showmen do. The crane on the back, it was a Palfinger, and basically that crane was put together to erect and dismantle the wild mouse and the log flume from one position. Probably a bit too much expensive kit for a showman, but a firm in Tullamore modified the chassis and fit the crane for us. And just to give you a rough idea, I mean, to fit a PK72 today, it's about €20,000. That's just to fit the crane. The ECX, the one with the new crane on it, the Fassi crane, that chassis sat in the shed at the back of my house for about 3 years because we'd used the cab and the engine out of that to build the 8-wheeler. And then we rebuilt another 525 Cummins where it's sitting, and then had an old ECX unit that was used as a shunter. So we took the cab off the ECX, done the engine up, we rebuilt the lorry, and then at that time we thought we need a small crane to put the axle on the wheel. And we looked and thought, no, we might as well just have one the same size, and then if the big one on the mouse or log flume fails, this one will back up for it. So hence the reason why you've got 2 heavy cranes on the farm. You know, it's a bit of a hobby, you know, a bit of fascination. If you're going to have a crane, you've got to have a big one, you know. You're always afraid that somebody parks a bigger one next to yours. Well, what happens is, the definition of a crane, if it says PK72, how a crane works is, what it means is 1 metre from the boom, it would lift 72 tonnes. But as it goes out, it goes down, down and down. Now, when you've got 30 metres of extension out, it'll probably pick up 3/4 of a tonne in ratio. But the definition, if somebody says to you, I've got a PK30 or a PK35, the measurement is 1 metre from the boom, it would pick up 35 tonnes. But it's an impossible lift, but that's how a crane's measured out. On the tractors and trailers, oh, it's dead simple. You have 78 tonnes on the 2 outside with the tractors under them, and the middle one with the arms is about 3 tonne lighter. She's about 74, 75 tonnes. The log flume's not heavy. Your log flume's not heavy. You've only one trailer log flume that's kind of weighty. That's the one with the floors. The rest of them are carrying very little. Very little. 10 sheets. No, it's not. There's 4 trailers. One of them, I think you probably find is about 38 tonne. The rest of them are probably 15, 16 tonne each.